All right, welcome to the DevRev, where we talk about developer freedom. I'm going to talk a little bit about a tactic that I figured out this week. Paid off a big time for me. And as I've been working on the Get a Coder Job book, which I am definitely renaming because I hate the name now because I keep saying it and it sounds dumb. But anyway, I figured this tactic out. I wanted to share it because I know a lot of people are out there looking for jobs. And in my last rant, I basically said, if you're sending your resume out to a zillion places and you're not getting interviews, it's your fault. You need to do something different. So here's what you do, okay? And this is what worked out for me. I also talked about the productivity with the Pomodoro technique. I might do an episode on that this week. I might do it next week. I'm trying to decide because I did get a couple of other answers or questions I wanted to answer this week, and I'm trying to keep it to 5 episodes a week. So anyway, let's jump in and talk about this. So if you're out there and you're sending your resume out to everybody and you're not getting any results, then you're probably trying to figure out what you're doing wrong. And what you're doing wrong is essentially you're sending your resume out to a bunch of people who are busy. It's going to wind up in a pile, which turns it into a bigger and bigger and bigger daunting task to go through it and figure out who to bring in for an interview. So for heaven's sake, that's just the wrong way to go. So what do you do? How do you get noticed, right? Well, I tell people to go to users groups. You'll meet people in person, and that's a terrific way to go. It's a terrific way to just meet up with people and have things pay off that way, right? Because you can build a relationship, and then if they like you, they'll hire you. And that's the whole idea. That is entirely the whole idea. If they like you, they think you can do the job, they'll hire you. And it's funny because people think, well, I have to prove that. No, you really don't. You have to prove that you can do the job, right? You essentially have to be good enough for them to not think it's a mistake to hire you. And then if they like you, they'll hire you, period. So so how do you get noticed if you're not in the vicinity, right? How do you get noticed if you're trying to make this work, right? And you can't go to a users group for whatever reason, or you don't have the opportunity to rub shoulders with the right people, or the right people aren't at the users group. Then what do you do? Well, I've been doing these sponsorship sales, and again, back to the idea of doing the work. I hit a couple of snags with money earlier this year, and this week, I mean, as soon as I started reaching out to people again, things cleared right up, right? I was able to sell sponsorships. So people want to reach developers. They have good products that I feel good about, talking to developers about. So, and I have to have both. Otherwise, I feel like I'm lying to people when I'm doing sponsorship. So I can't do that. So I have to find these companies that I really believe in, and I have to, they have to believe that it's going to pay off for them. So how do you do that? How do you find these people? How do you get in front of them? Well, here's what I did. So I started looking around for companies that met my criteria. And what my criteria was do they have money to spend on advertising, right? For you, if you're looking for a job, your criteria is, are they hiring? And do they do the kind of work I want to do? And in the book, I talk about a few other things that you need to consider and basically have you pick your top 3 criteria that you're working off of, and then go out and validate companies against those and then apply to them. And then once you have those companies that look like they line up, and as soon as you find out that they don't, back off a little bit, I guess. But the idea is once you have that information, then you need to get these people's attention. And I've been using a tool called HubSpot. HubSpot is a marketing tool. So if you're not marketing, probably. Anyway, it's free up to a certain point. I am paying for some of the sales tools. But anyway, that's beside the point. So what I did is I went out and I looked for companies that, did that kind of advertising. So I went to conference websites and I looked at their sponsors. I looked at other podcast sponsors, right? Because if they're spending money on those, they'll probably spend money on podcasts like the ones we do here. So, and you can do the same thing, right? So in fact, on LinkedIn, as I was working through LinkedIn, I saw a whole bunch of people that had "we're hiring" in their job description, which if you're wondering, that means that they can't find the people they want. And so if you can convince them that you're one of the people they want, then you can get their attention. So anyway, backing up a minute. So I would go on LinkedIn. So I'd figured out what companies I wanted to target. I'd go on LinkedIn and I'd look up the company. And then I would do a search for marketing. And what you can do is you can go in and you can do a search for team lead, director of engineering, those kinds of positions. Especially if you know the name of the company that you're really looking for. It's pretty easy to figure out who that person is, unless they're trying to hide their information. But most people don't. Most people are in LinkedIn to connect with other people. And so what I do is I go in and I get their name, and then I don't connect with them on LinkedIn. What I do is I take it over to another tool called hunter.io. And it's free to use up to a certain point. I don't pay for it. I just use the free version because I'm not doing enough emails lookups to do it. And then what you do is you type in the domain name for the company that you're looking for. Once you get that in there, then it will tell you its best guess for, so usually it's like first initial last name, or first name last name, or last name first name, or last name dot first name, right? It'll tell you the format it thinks they generally use. And so you can use that. You can also type in the name of the person you're trying to look up. And if they have that email address in their database, they'll just give it to you. So now you have their email address, or you can guess it. And that gives you a really good shot of getting something into their inbox. So the next thing you do is you send an email, and you have to kind of know what they're looking for, right? So you have to offer them something that they want. And offering them something they want, which is hiring you, is not something that they know they want yet. So what you need to do is you basically need to go and learn a little bit more about them and find out what they're after. So, are they looking for a Rails developer? Are they looking for somebody who can solve a certain set of problems? Are they looking for somebody that has a certain background? Are they looking for somebody that can just get in and write code? Are they looking for, and so, you can kind of read some of the things they've written on their blog or on Twitter or on LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever, right? You can go look at the job postings. You can just email them and say, hey, look, I saw that you're the director of engineering. It looks like you're hiring, and I'm just wondering, what you're looking for, so that I can apply if I feel like I'm a good fit. But that would be my last resort if I can't find anything else. So then you send them an email and you basically offer them what they want, right? So, hi, I'm George. I've been programming for the last year. I learned React. I've learned to do these kinds of things with it, right? So, and put that in your subject, in your email address, right? I'm a developer that can XYZ, because they're looking for XYZ. And then, just offer them what they want, and just say, hey, look, I'd like to come in and see if you're the kind of company that I'd like to work for. And there you go. I've been sending them, calendar invites to schedule sales calls is what I've been doing. But you can apply this to this other application. Same thing with if you're trying to speak at a conference or things like that. Again, you could submit to the CFP, and I usually do. But then I also typically will email the organizers of the conference, and I'll say, hey, what kinds of talks are you looking for? Especially, what kinds of talks are you looking for that you're not getting a lot of submissions on? And then I can get in and talk to them. And a lot of people just, you ask them, they'll just tell you, right? So again, doing the outreach is kind of a shortcut to getting in and really getting noticed. And what I'm finding is most people do not mind if you email them out of the blue. So honestly, just get out there and do this kind of thing where you're probably out of your comfort zone a little bit, but dang, nobody else is doing it. You're offering them what they want. And so what's the downside? So anyway, that's what I got. And hopefully this helps a few people think about, okay, so how do I do this and what am I doing? And I'll probably put a few more templates because I've been editing the book, the Get a Coder Job book. Getacoderjob.com will still take you to the book even after I change the title. But yeah, I'll put some templates and things in the book so you can check it out. You can pre-order the book now. It gets you the rough draft. So as I add this stuff in, you'll be able to pick it up and then go with it. But anyway, that's it. That's all you have to do is you basically have to do what nobody else is doing, stand out a little bit and offer them what they want. And you'll get hired or, speaking bid or whatever. So anyway, that's what I'm after. The flip side of this is like I got a call today and I think I filled something out online that said that I was interested in new heating and cooling system for my house. And to be honest, what I'm really looking for is somebody who can give me a deal on an air conditioning system, because ours died right at the end of the fall. So it wasn't a major deal, but we're going to want to get it fixed before summer. So they got that information. I got this phone call from this lady, and she says, I got your information about getting a new heating and cooling system, and we can set you up so that you can get quotes from contractors. And blah, 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 blah. She didn't offer me what I wanted. She offered to help me so that she could make money. And, you know, it's not that it's disingenuous. It's that she freaking read a script to me, and I had to hang up on her because I couldn't get a word in because she had to get her script out instead of helping me out. And if she had just gotten on and said, hey, it looks like you filled out this form, you've got a problem with your heating or air conditioning, what's going on, and how can I help, I probably would have talked to her. But instead, you know, it's just like, hey, sorry, and then I hung up because I couldn't, you know, she wasn't in it to help me. She was there to read a script and basically log a call. And so if you can come from a place that's sincere and offer them what they want, then you can make that payoff. So anyway, end rant. I'm out. We'll have another one. I'm going to answer some of these questions out of my email. I had a few people reply to the emails. If you go to devchat.tv, you can fill in the form on any of the podcast or episode pages. That'll start getting you those episodes of those shows. But it will also get you on the mailing list, and you'll start getting emails from me. And if you reply to any of those, or you can just email Chuck at devchat.tv, mention the DevRev Show, I am happy to answer any questions you send. Might take me a week or so because, yeah, I just did 2 rants in a row that had nothing to do with anything that anybody sent me. But I am trying to get through those. I do have a few more emails that I'm going to answer here today. So, yeah, anyway, there we go.